Senators Dianne Feinstein and Bernie Sanders are urging congressional leaders to block an effort that would bar companies from participating in boycotts against Israel. In a letter to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, they wrote, "While we do not support the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, we remain resolved to our constitutional oath to defend the right of every American to express their views peacefully without fear of or actual punishment by the government." Since 2015, 26 states have passed some form of anti-BDS legislation. Last year, Texas passed its own version of the law, which prohibits any public agency in the state from doing business with companies that boycott Israel. Now, that law is now the center of a legal challenge brought by an Austin children's speech pathologist. Bahia Amawi, an American citizen of Palestinian descent, says the law goes against her principles. Amawi says that her school district declined to renew her contract after she refused to sign the anti-boycott pledge. On Friday, Amawi and her Attorney General, Gadir Abbas, filed a preliminary injunction to stop Texas from enforcing the law. They also want the court to allow Bahia to resume her job, which she's held with the school district for almost a decade. Bahia Amawi and Attorney Gadir Abbas join me now. Thank you both very much for joining us. Gadir, let me begin with you, if I may. Give us the legal basis here of the argument that you are making and why you believe the legislation passed by 26 states, possibly even now working its way through Congress, is unconstitutional.
Sure. The right of Americans to engage in boycott activity is a sacrosanct American tradition that sits at the core of the First Amendment, from boycotts against British tea to the Montgomery bus boycott to boycotts against apartheid South Africa. The right of people and Americans to act in concert, to use their purchasing power to express themselves, is something that Americans have done time and time again. And the activities of folks that support the BDS movement and support Palestinian rights and do so through their wallets is something that we expect courts, have done in Arizona and Kansas previously, to support and to intervene to make clear that this Texas law is a violation, and a clear, egregious violation of the First Amendment.
I want to put up a tweet from the governor of Texas. And when this story, Bahia's story, started getting attention this week, the governor of Texas simply tweeted out, "Texas stands with Israel." Period. On Friday, I know that you and your client filed an emergency motion on Friday. Give us a quick update on where the legal proceedings stand against that.
Well, we included that tweet from the governor in that filing because it's an example of viewpoint discrimination. The state of Texas, nor any part of the state government or the federal government, can't take sides and can't punish people for the views that they express. And so we filed that emergency motion on Friday. We're hopeful that in the middle of January we should have a court decision that hopefully, if all works out well, reinstates Bahia to her job with the school district, providing speech pathology services to students. There should be no relationship between a speech pathologist and Bahia's ability to provide services to students and her right to engage in boycotts against a foreign country.
So, Bahia, let me ask you personally, your experience throughout all of this. Walk us through what it is that happened when you attempted to renew your contract, and what officials said to you maybe in private, besides the public rebuke that they have given because of this case now that has gotten so much attention.
Sure, yeah. Well, every year I renew my contract annually. It's a duplicate of the original copy of the year before. So I renewed my original contract, and a few weeks later, I was given this addendum. And when I was looking over it, it looked like regular codes, job-related issues, background history, and equal opportunity, until I came up to the code that we're talking about, which is 2270.01 of Texas Government Code. So when I saw that, which violated my First Amendment, attacked me as an American citizen and personally as a Palestinian American, I could not sign it against my principle and moral and ethical values. So I emailed my speech coordinator. who I have a very good relationship with, and I explained to her that it goes against all my principles, and I'm able to continue with, signing this code. So she was kind enough, and she said, you know what, let's go around this barrier, let's try to do something, and just cross over it, and just initial next to it. It took her almost 2 weeks to get back to me, so I know she has been working diligently to try to go around this barrier. And she apologized when she called me. She said, I'm sorry, Bahia, but they will not pay you if you don't sign this code. And that was kind of the end of my work with them after 9 years, and it was a forced departure.
Let me ask you really quickly, what is it that you want your case to achieve, not just in your state, not you personally, but for the 26 states, maybe even the entire country right now?
Yeah, I want to preserve our First Amendment rights, our constitutional rights. These are rights that many people strive for all over the world, not just nationally here. And we have the luxury to have these rights as United States citizens. And I'm really blessed to be part of this country and have these rights. And I'm able to exercise them. I want to be able to exercise them and not be restricted in what areas I can use them and what areas I cannot use them.
Yeah,
it is just un-American.
It is a very important case, and it's one that we're going to be watching very closely here as well. Bahia Amawi and Gadira Best.